Aim for 1 o'clock. We were a little bit behind schedule. We'll start with a short invocation. You can just close your eyes. Double breath with tension is twice in the nose. Tense the body. Hold everything firm. Draw it in towards your spine. Twice out the mouth. Relax. Again, double breath in. And withdraw your attention. Nothing to worry about. Then relax. You can respond to me. Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Om Aim Sarasvatyai Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Yeah, you can draw down low here. So you need a different marker though. We called upon that force that frees up the inner obstacles. We called upon the force that brings luminosity. We call upon the force that brings the transcendent spirit. And now we're looking at what is Ayurveda. Ayurveda means knowledge of life. And each of you is alive. So it's a good match. Ayurveda, you can say it you, Ayu, Veda. So if we were to write it in English, it would look like this. Ayu, Veda. But that's two words, and in Sanskrit, words generally come together. So it becomes Ayurveda, which is a different pronunciation than separating two words. And it just means knowledge of life. That's all it means. Who can remind us what the 5 elements are?
Earth, space, air, fire, water.
So in order, they are space, Akasha. What comes next?
Air.
Vayu. What's next? Not earth. Fire. Psh, Agni. What's next? Apa. And last is Bhu. We always say them in order. Space, air, fire, water, earth. They are from up there to down here. That's the way it is in us, in a tree, in the universe. Space and air are the least dense. Fire and water a little more dense. Water and earth is most dense. And those are the 3 organizations. So in any living creature, there are 3 organizations of the 5 elements. Space and air, responsible for all movement. Fire and water, responsible for all transformation. And water and earth, responsible for all structure. Each of you was born a unique combination of the 5 elements. There are no 2 creatures exactly the same, even identical twins. So there's no exactly the same baseline constitutions, which is the name of this class. There it is, the word prakrti. You can say it, prakrti, which means form. It comes from the same root krit as the word karma, which means an action. Or kriya, which is a tool. So here we have kriti, which means a form. And prakriti is that form that is native to me. My native baseline constitution is my prakriti. Now all gardening type medical systems have this concept of a baseline constitution. Then we have what is called vikriti. Vit is a prefix that means away. So that means away from my true form. You all follow me? I have the way that I was born, that if I thrive as a garden, that's my native. And it's both physical and also psychological. Then there's vikriti, which means I'm away from my true form. So this happens to trees, it happens to crops that we grow for you know, purposes. Like in Colorado, do they grow wheat here? I don't know. Maybe nothing. Peaches, you know. So anything can fall apart from its native baseline. Prakrti, Vikriti. The today class is Prakrti. We're going to stand up and look at each other so that we can get a sense of what are these different Prakritis. While we do that, we'll review what are, and Mary, please put your glasses on somewhere where they don't get stepped on. It's one of the basic yoga classroom rules. Who can remind us some of the qualities of space and air? Dry, light, cold, subtle, mobile, clear, and rough. So space and air, if we're up there above 8,000 feet, it's dry, light, cold, clear, subtle, mobile, and rough. And anywhere just space and air are together, that's generally the qualities. Fire and water, who remembers some of the qualities? Hot, spreading, liquid, fermenting, oily, sharp and penetrating is an important one. And it's also light. Oily, hot, and sharp.
Oily, hot, and sharp.
Fermenting, spreading liquid.
Fermenting, spreading liquid.
That sparkles.
Sparkles.
So fire and water together in your body or any living thing have these qualities. And that's how they'll show up. Oily, like oily skin. Hot, like heat flash. Sharp and penetrating, like sharp pain. Fermenting, like the mind just keeps stewing on something and it won't let it go. Spreading, like a rash or acne. Liquid, like red blood is the pitta substance. Bile is a pitta substance. Hydrochloric acid in your stomach is a pitta substance. And it's light, not heavy. Then earth and water, who remembers some qualities? Heavy, cloudy, sticky, cool, earth and water. What was that? Muddy. Yeah, that could be. Smooth. So usually the English version of the sutra is heavy, dull, and slow.
Heavy, dull, and slow.
Thick, soft, stable.
Thick, soft, stable.
Cool, smooth. Sticky, cloudy.
Sticky, cloudy.
Oily.
Oily.
Hard. So many qualities because water and earth are the most substantial. It's also gross. Not as disgusting, but as substantial. Okay? So we're looking in baseline form for things that don't change. The older the creature is, the more it might have had things act on, right? But we're going to come closer together. And we'll start by looking at the top parts. So we look at heads. This is a shy moment. It's like, oh, everyone's looking at me. Okay? So we look at the head structures. So we're looking at the bony head. What size bony skull do they have and what shape is it? Okay, that's all we're looking at. So a head that is in, it's generally a Vata type head, unless there were like forceps used or some birth trauma. And of course, Anna has the most head like that. Sarah also has a bit. And even Mary has a little bit, but not so much. Okay. Pitta type head is heart-shaped. It has a taper and goes around. So Macy has that. I have that. April has that. Even to some extent, Tracy has a little bit of it. But Kapha type head is a big square jaw or a round, or even the forehead is smaller and the jaw is bigger. Those are all different Kapha type heads. Okay, so Lou has, and Nina has. And Simon has to some extent. Tracy has to some extent. What's your name? Tammy? Cami with a C or a K? K. Cami has. Okay. So these represent strongest growth. We didn't talk about our other Tracy yet because she has some qualities of all three, but I would say it is mostly a Vata type head in that compared to the rest of her body, the head is a little small. She has broad shoulders, doesn't she? Da-da-da-da. Okay. So it means her mind might be kind of extra creative for her particular dosha, her baseline constitution. Tracy will be a bit of an unusual one as we look at baseline constitution. But just generically, everyone has everything. So you're not one dosha. You're not one organization. You just have a predominant tendency, okay? Then we'll look at shoulders. So some people like their shoulders kind of like slouch or pin in. But bring your shoulders up by your ears. Then exhale down. Up by the ears. Exhale down. Last time. Okay, and we're looking at shoulder width. Narrow shoulders, thin shoulders will be Vata shoulders. Again, our friend Anna has a little bit, but actually her shoulders are kind of broad for her friend. April's shoulders are not thin. They're medium. So we don't have that many thin-shouldered people here. Okay?
What's Subin?
Subin. Okay, she's not here. I have medium-sized shoulders for a man of my height. Even I would say that Lou's shoulders are probably kind of broad, but they're a little bit internally rotated. But medium, they're not super large. Even Simon's shoulders aren't super broad, but they are broad. Okay? I think Michael's shoulders are even broader. Tracy has really broad shoulders. But she always put her hands too close together in downward dog. No, you have to put the hands nice and wide. Okay? Okay. Like that, like that. Nina has broad shoulders. See? You all see, these won't change. We don't look at weight or whatever. We look at bone structure. Making sense? Okay. If I didn't talk about you, actually, Cami also has broad shoulders. Our friend Tracy here has broad shoulders, but her shoulders, right one is a little bit turned down and in. So she has to consciously work on lifting it and using that shoulder blade till she comes even. She also has a lot of tension here. So it means her shoulders don't quite open out. They're kind of pinned. But she'll work on that and they'll get more free. All right. So this is the Ayurveda, what kind of creature am I class. Space and air is irregular in how it organizes and it's light. Fire and water is transformational. It tends to be hot, oily, and has sharp features, like my eyes are sharp. Macy, who's also a fire type person, most likely predominant, but she doesn't have sharp quality. If you look at her eyes, they're very different than mine. Do you see that? They tend to be larger, more round, and blue for Caucasian, which represent more kapha, water, earth type eyes. They're also nice and broad set. That is also a kapha feature. So we're looking at just the eyes. You see, Nina has broad set eyes. You see that? Lou has broad set eyes to some extent. We're looking at features that won't change in the person over time. Simon does not have broad set, nor does he have big eyes, even though his baseline constitution is most likely an earth type. But there is something different about his nervous system. We can see it just by looking at his eyes. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't talk about our friend Jenny a lot yet.
I know
But Jenny has characteristics of both pitta and kapha in her head shape. It is a little drawn long. So but if we look at Tracy's eyes. Tracy's eyes are a little bit narrow set and a little bit small, so there is Vata qualities to her eyes. Jenny, sorry.
Hair color.
No, it is just combining family trip with teaching 10, 12-hour days. There's not enough. So we're looking at the eyes of the people. Other friend Tracy has narrow set eyes. They are smaller, you see? Closer together. Medium and wide set. See, I used Macy as the example. Her eyes are a little bit medium to broader set eyes. And eyes are big. Great big juicy eyeball, full of love. Huh? You see that? So Vata nose will be crooked, thin, irregular looking. We don't really have any Vata noses here. Pitta nose will be sharp with a pointy tip. Bing, like a button nose. Audra has some Vata features. Yeah, Audra does. But she's not here. A lot of button noses are here.
She's online.
And then
I noticed that. I thought she had to keep
Kappa nose is broader. Lou has a broader nose. That's pretty much it. Although Simon also has a nice broad nose. They can really breathe in. As long as it's not full of mucus, right? Because that is Kappa problem. We're looking at what doesn't change. Vata person will have a little bitty ear or irregular shaped ear. Even I have Vata ears. See, look at my little ear. More of a talker than a listener. The person will have a big ear. And Kappa has big ears. Simon has a nice big satellite dish. Huh? He's a good listener. Okay. All right. You see what I'm saying? These things don't change. Vata lips are quite thin and dry. Of course, most people's lips are dry because it's autumn time. Pitta lips are medium and red. Kapha lips are big and juicy. We don't have so much. Not really. Nina does. She's being shy. Her lips are a little dry from living in Indiana and now being in Colorado. But lips are usually juicy. You all see that? We're looking baseline feature. Things that don't change. It's shy. We're looking at each other's bodies. I know that. Put out the arms with no sleeves on them. Come close. It's a shy time. We're looking at you. When looking at you. Look at the difference between me, Simon, and Lou's arms. See these Kappa arms with lots of hair on them? Huh? Look at me. I can't make a hair if I try. See, that will be men. Okay, Vata will have hair, but they will be kind of kinky, curly, and out of weird places like moles or freckles. You see that? We don't really have so much Vata skin, but Anna does have the most Vata type skin. She has some moles and things going. That is irregular growths. But mostly she has Pitta skin. You see it has the light, shiny quality. Macy also has. Mary also has. Cami skin is a little bit thicker. If you pinch the skin and roll it between your fingers, Vata skin will be paper thin. Pitta skin will be medium. And Kapha skin has a nice layer to it. You can roll it. That doesn't mean they are overweight. That just means they have a nice Kapha skin. It is a nice wetsuit. That's why they get hot, because they're wearing a wetsuit. The skin is there. Pinch somebody else.
Oh my gosh.
This is not even classical Vata skin, though. Hey, come on in. Michael and Subin came. See, Michael has Pitta skin. He doesn't have so much hair. It's not because he shaved anything. He just doesn't make as much, okay?
And then these are the shoulders.
Shoulders are actually not super narrow. but kind of narrow. You see? Kind of narrow. You see? All right. We're looking at the skin of the people. We're trying to figure out what kind of creature am I. And ethnicity doesn't matter. You can have shiny skin, even you're dark black African. You can still have that light, shiny pitta skin. Or you can have thick, kind of duller skin, kapha. Or you can have dry looking, really black skin. Nina is her people come from South China. She's mostly kapha earth type, broad, skull, broad shoulders, large breast, broad hip. Okay, but look at this pitta skin she has. You see how shiny it is? So God has blessed her with some pitta skin. We're just looking. Of course, that means when you look at the different subparts, that will be how we garden that. So Nina's skin will be a thin skin. That means she is more sensitive. Am I making sense?
Thicker skin translates to how literally?
Well, of course, it's your boundary. Including just environment, other people, how much you are sensitive to climate. If you have a thicker skin, you get under both. You start water. As long as you aerate, you're going to be okay.
Is that where the saying came from? Thick skin?
Of course, every popular sayings are Ayurveda sayings. That's all just common sense. Ayurveda should be taught at that age, not at this age. Okay, we're looking at skin. Let me see our friend Jenny's skin. You see all these freckles? Okay, that is a sign of pitta tendency. And her skin is medium to thicker. But she has the freckles, which also can come on just about any ethnicity. That won't change. Okay, we did look at that. Now look at the finger length. All right, and finger shape. Our friend Mary, how old are you, Mary? Mary's 64. Mary has arthritis. She has swelling in her fingers. Can you see that? So that is a vikriti. That is not baseline constitution related. All right, but Mary's skin looks more pitta type skin. Her hand actually might have been thinner, smaller when she was younger. I don't know. How much swelling has occurred in the joints? Not too much?
Had really broad hands.
Yeah, so she has always had a kapha hand, bigger hand. Okay, so that I need to ask when I'm wondering, Macy has longer tapering fingers. That is sign of more vata than pitta.
Yes. I'm just like,
Lou not only has thicker fingers, but you can see his fingernails are much stronger than mine. And he has these nice, even though he is, how old are you, Lou?
57.
57. I'm 46. He's older to me, but he still has these really nice, strong nails. You see that? Now, come everyone and put your fingernail cross on Lou's nails. Side to side. Side to side. You see there's no grooves there. On my poor dried up nails from Vata High, there is cracking.
So what kind of characteristic is
That's a feature, right? Think of it with the ivory tusk. Lou makes some strong nails. Really strong nails. You all follow me? On your own fingers, go across and see if you feel any ridges. This is dried up Vata feature. It also means you're older because Vata comes to all of us in the old age. Okay, at the beginning of life, you are a cute, chunky kapha creature, earth and water. Midlife is a pitta time. It's about fire in the head. And old life is a dried up time. That happens to each of us. But you should feel them, and you should feel your neighbor friends. Wow, nice nails.
Yeah, I have.
You can scrape on mine. You feel the grooves?
Yeah, mine are.
Not a sign of health for me.
Oh, those are very smooth.
Hmm?
Oh, that's interesting. Because they're smooth.
Yeah, it's, for the rest of Michael, he has some really Vata type fingers. Okay? Okay? That means he has been blessed with that unique quality for giving and receiving. You know? He has been gifted that. It is a unique quality. It also gives him quite a good, ability to grasp, because he has those long things. My wife, many people saw my wife. She is a space air type, thin as can be, right? But she has gained 20 pounds since I've known her, 25 pounds maybe. But she has really long fingers. She can't do a single push-up, but she can grab. Okay? She has a lot of tensile strength. You understand? You have to see these things and understand what kind of creature, because we don't garden people the same. Okay? We don't garden the same. Pitta. Pitta. Yeah, that's good. So pitta hands, you will tend to see they are medium. There will be some sharp features, even to the nail beds. There will be sharpness, and there might be tendency towards redness. Like, look at our friend April's hands. April is a mixed race person, but she has definite pink coming out the hands. Even our friend Nina has more pitta hand than a kapha hand, especially if you look at her. You making sense? So that, like that. Our friend Sarah has pitta hands. Look at them. She is pale with pink popping out. Look at the pink on Sarah. She looks like an English rose. Right? Macy has totally pink coming off her hands, right? Like that. Whereas Anna, it is a little bit more dark in color. That is Vata. Anna is the youngest of us. She is 22. So the kapha you see on her is actually due to age, 22. We want to keep her bucked up because she could easily dry up, especially in the climate. Look, Simon has some nice kapha hand. Look at those. You want someone to hold you or hug you, you want that hand to be there. Okay? All right, you understand? He just put his hand at your shoulder blade. No problem. I like Catholic Church going back after so many years. I didn't really go as a kid, but we always hold hands and do that Our Father prayer. Then sometimes close the eyes, I can feel everything about that lifetime, all the joys, the struggles. Who cares they don't vote the same as me? It is human beings suffering, trying, striving for something greater. That's why church is so important. So we looked at that. We look at limb length. Okay, so touch the side of your legs. How far down did the hands go? Look at the limb length of the person. How did they go? Let's see. These are about, we're looking. Subin seemed to have some long arms, doesn't she?
Yeah.
You see that? Even Michael has a longer arm than Simon, right? Vata is there. Maybe they're the same, actually. I didn't know how they were holding. So long and tapering is Vata. Medium is Pitta, and broad and wide and strong is Kapha. So if I put my wrist next to Lou's wrist, look, his is wider to mine, but not a lot. Even Michael doesn't have a super broad wrist. Let me see Simon's wrist. It is broader. You see that? Even that is, it is broad. Now let's look. Let's see some women's wrists. Look at Anna's wrist.
I was just saying this is similar too. It's a little bigger.
Yeah. Everyone should come hold on to Anna's wrist. No, everyone should just come once and feel the bones. Don't just feel the wrist, but feel how slender and thin her bones are. Grab her. Don't be shy. Okay? That's why
Yeah.
That's why we want to make sure that she gets enough protein, that she stays warm. The cold can go, first of all, Anna doesn't have much skin. She's not wearing a wetsuit. She doesn't have a coat on. Okay. Then those bones are so little, the cold can go right in the bones. Shower. Go warm again. Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
That can happen to any of us if Vata is high. All right. So that is looking at the limbs. A kapha arm is quite thick and strong and makes big muscles easily. Even Nina has pretty big muscle. Even Jenny has nice muscle. Arms, you see? Tracy has nice muscles. You see that? Like that? Cami has nice muscles on her. You know, if you want this deltoid, you see that? Look at that. Okay? That is the plaster of the body, you know? So you look at that. When you're looking at hip width, that gives you an idea of their grounding and rooting. So what's interesting, Michael has broad shoulders, but he has narrower hips. He has classic male triangular shape, you know? That's how alignment was designed for yoga poses, was using male skeleton, broad shoulders, narrow hips. That's why feet together. Right? It makes no sense for Tracy, who has broad shoulders, broad hips. Feet should also be broad, like that. Am I making sense? Mm-hmm. So I know it is a shy matter, but look at the people's hips. Even Everett is there. Everett has pitta-shaped face, right? But he has big, lovely eyes, blue eyes. For a Caucasian means water, earth. Making sense? Really thin hip is Subin. She had quite thin hips. Even thinner to our friend Anna, maybe. But both are quite thin. Macy has thinner hips than she does shoulders. Can you see that? Okay. You have to look and see at the bony skeleton where it is. Tracy has classic Earth Mama hips. You know? That is pelvis for making babies. You see? Easily they will come. Let me see Jenny's hips. There are medium to broad. She has features pitta and kapha in her for her hip width. Even Nina has kapha hips. You see her skeleton is this wide. Like that. So those things don't change. If a kapha person gains weight, like Nina is thin now, she gained weight a couple years ago, but Nina still look good. If I gain weight, it kind of sags on me. Usually belly looks like, you know, even my tricep will sag. Okay? Pitta person doesn't wear weight gain as well. Vata person really doesn't wear weight gain well. If Subin just ate only like fatty foods only like that, she could get weird like, you know, sags happening all over her body. It would look quite weird. It's unlikely it will happen though. Kapha person has a nice filling out potential. Of course, we don't want them to gain too much weight. I think I talked about most of the things that are important when you're looking at baseline constitution, except maybe hair. See, I can't make a hair on my face either. I mean, I didn't shave for 4 days, you know? Michael also doesn't grow that big of a beard. He has pitta quality there.
I've got to shave every morning.
Simon has to shave every morning. Look, you can touch loose side like that. Already it is growing. Okay? You follow me? That's nice quality though. It's strong. There. That comes on the head. Look, I burned my hair off by the time I was 17. Who has hot quality? Yeah, touch behind your ears. Does it feel hot there? That is a sign of pitta dosha. They usually go up. They usually become an icon version of self. Only collarbones and up. They forget the body. They neglect it. All right. Hair, we were talking. Man will burn it. Woman will go gray or white. Any ethnicity. Okay? Mary has that to some extent. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Very white.
but can I touch it? It's not too thin though. Everyone should come squeeze Mary's ponytail. Because pitta hair will be thin, like it just barely can exist on this world. It is so fine and silky. But Mary has a thick hair. What is your age? What is your age?
64.
Mary is 64. So her hair is nice and thick still. You feel that? Thick hair, even at such a dry climate, right? But I think our friend Tracy here, she has fine hair.
Well, I actually had chemotherapy, and so my hair was really, really thick before.
It was.
And then when it grew back, it's very thin and feels like baby hair.
That's interesting. So she's sharing with you. That's why you always have to ask health history and questioning.
And then the shape of my body is very different too. From like surgeries that I've had. This is a surgery.
Oh,
So it has changed the shape of my body from what it was.
can you touch where are the hip bones though? No, you don't need to show them,
sorry.
dear. Just.
Right
But
here.
pelvis is still a broad pelvis. You have earth and water as your strong characteristic. You do. But you have some unusual vata features to your head. So generally vata and kapha look a little bit like opposites. But we see this more. What is your ethnic background?
Korean.
She's Korean. Often Koreans, we see a lot of pitta type Koreans in America. Actually, America is kind of a pitta country. But sometime in other cultures, they don't, marriage and arranged marriage and things like that make for different body combinations. It tend to be in the US, people marry someone that looks kind of like them. But in India, you go there, marriage is arranged. Some skinny, mini, teeny, tiny creature marries some giant. So you get vata kapha features in other countries more. Some countries, there people are only big, like Samoa. They're just big. Or a lot of people in Alaska, they are short but squat kapha creatures only. So of course, if you stay in one area a lot, those are how the people will be. Am I making sense? So we have to garden people differently is the point. Hair qualities for vata, it will be dry and curly in nature. Pitta hair is fine. Let me touch your hair. Macy might put some color in her hair.
Last week.
And she might have some product also, but it is fine. Everyone should also grab Nina's hair. That's some cup hair. You feel that? Okay. You see? Don't be shy. On Caucasian person, red hair and blonde hair definitely means pitta person. Okay? So like that, we have talked about hair. The kapha hair is the strongest, the thickest. It is luxurious, beautiful. And each of us can add that quality with coconut oil in the hair in young age during summer. You know, it helps the hair. There are even herbs you can put in the oil, massage in. I was too late finding out about this stuff. Okay, like that. So baseline constitution, next thing we're gonna do is, we should look at the tongues. We did this before, we should do again. After lunch. Come on, let's see the tongues. Okay, so there are some people that have quite, like her tongue for the rest of her is a bigger tongue, right? Yeah, she has that, see? Look, Macy has pointy pitta tongue, you see? Even Tracy, who looked like kapha only, she can make it bigger. She can make it bigger. Come on, bring the whole thing up. See? she was teasing you only. Means that vata tongue will be crooked and little and like darty. And little. And pitta tongue is pointy. And kapha tongue is wide and broad and thick. You all follow me? Look, Nina's tongue. See that? Good. So we have looked at features. That is always the shy part of this class. Then the next part is fun. So we're going to sit and we're going to listen to pulses, okay? When you're assessing what is my baseline constitution, you must look at the objective things. You can't do tests on the internet per se, because you will answer the questions subjectively. But right now, while I'm doing this, reach underneath like this, and then curl your 3 fingers for your radial artery. Okay? And where are you? You're very close to this hip wrist flexion. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Now, when you listen to pulse, you don't use the pads of your fingers. You need to turn to the tip of the finger. Not the nail, but the tip. The fingertip is super aware. So use the tip of your finger to listen. Mary, come like this, dear, from underneath. Okay, there you go. Then you have to curl your fingertips down. The next thing with pulse reading is to rake side to side until you feel that garden hose. The radial artery. Is your hose a skinny little hose with a thin wall? Is it a medium-sized hose that feels hot or warm? Is it a thick tube that's also broad? You don't know because it just feels normal to you. But we're going to feel lots of other people's here in a minute, okay? You all got it? Can you feel a pulse or are you still alive? Yeah. Because it's hard to find pulse sometimes on kapha body because kapha body has thicker skin. Sometimes it's harder to feel. That means they have to adopt the non-native penetrating quality. You see? Kapha dosha, they don't have penetrating. They have slow and dull quality. They have, like in your gut, in your stomach, you have that part of your stomach that has nice layer of mucus. And you have the other feature of your stomach, hydrochloric acid coming in. Both are needed, right? So pitta is the hydrochloric acid, kapha is the mucus. You need them both. Kapha person is more relaxed, less opinionated. Pitta person is very, very opinionated, always wants things to be their way. Am I making sense? So that is just the qualities of the doshas. Don't take it personally. All right. So once you found your pulse, the next thing we're doing is about how many beats per minute is it? Who has a phone or a stopwatch they can use? Okay. Tracy will tell you when to start. Just go to 30 seconds, Tracy. Tell them when to start. That was 30 seconds? It seemed longer to me, but Who has just a regular watch with a second hand? Okay. Lou, just look at your watch. Just give us 15 seconds. Tell us when to start. Okay. With Lou's, how many did you have, Michael? 16. Okay, so that is 64 beats per minute. What about you, Nina?
24, but it felt a lot faster than mine.
Yeah, Nina's pulse felt fast. That's because Vata is high. What about you, Tracy?
Yeah, mine was like 22, but it felt higher.
Then faster than usual? Pulse will change. Best time to take pulse is first thing in the morning after sleeping. What about you, Simon?
16.
What about you, Jenny? Okay, that would be 72 beats per minute. What about you, Cami? 20. Did you have coffee or something today? What about you, Sarah? That's probably normal while pregnant. What about you, Emma? What about you, Tracy? Yeah, that would be normal for Tracy, 64 beats per minute. Because who will have the slowest pulse? Kapha dosha. Who will have the fastest pulse? Right. Think of a hummingbird. What about you, April? 15. That's quite relaxed while kids are here. What about you? What about you, Mary? 20. Did you have tea or coffee or something? Yeah. Because I think it's fast for you. What about you, Subin? Maybe you missed some. Hard to say.
I was about to say 15 and then you said stop.
Okay, maybe. We'll find out. A lot of people will also take your pulse. What about you, Macy? Yeah, that's probably normal for you. So pulse changes. It's not the best measure. Then next thing you're going to listen, you might listen to other side if you want to. This won't change too much if you push hard enough. Because the way all of us gardener types listen to your pulse, down at the bottom of the riverbed is the old story, like the first ring of the tree. But let's use riverbed analogy first, okay? Down at the bottom of the riverbed is the old story. Then as you come up on the surface of the river, that's according to the weather, isn't it? Wind could be blowing, sun could be reflecting, extra water could be coming. You follow me? So surface pulse is current condition. Deep pulse is old story. What kind of creature am I? So you need to actually pin the garden hose until it can't, blood doesn't go through. Then just barely come up. You having trouble finding it, Kimmy? No problem, dear. Do the other one then. Then, Kimmy, you inhale, and you have to turn your fingertips into arrows. She has loving quality only. She's not used to being so attacking. Huh? But for some things, you have to cultivate penetrating quality. Pulse reading is one of them. Go to deep story, then come up to surface. Notice if you notice any differences. If you're choosing to become more proficient at pulse reading, you need to start with your own and whomever you live with. And do them regularly so you get a good sense of what's going on in the early morning. Then you can come listen to your pulse. My pulse is really fast for me right now and really choppy. Sorry about that. Means that's what you all also experience to some extent. But I'm doing the best I can. And you all are very loving, forgiving people. I'm grateful for that. But I know that about myself. I can just tell by pulse. That's why after lunch, I just laid down on my left side. Do you feel a difference between deep pulse and surface pulse? You might not. Doesn't matter. We're now going to look at what exactly those pulses might mean. So if your pulse seemed to zzz, 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 like that, that is Vata type pulse. If your pulse went dur, 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 with sharp, that is Pitta pulse. If your pulse had nice round boom, boom, that would be physical picture of what it would feel like. Okay? This one they call snake. This one they call frog. It jumps at you. And this one is swan. It swims. Those are classic names for the pulses, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Of course, there are so many. You can do pulse reading for years and years. There are some Ayurveda doctors, they are master of pulse reading. They can tell you everything that happened to you just listening pulse only. Even Chinese medical doctors, Korean doctors, same. Because that's what they do all the time. It's just patterning. It's not like they're magic. Though meditation does help. So if they also have subtle practices, it will enhance their capacity to feel. So you all don't know so much, but we're going to practice listening for what does the pulse feel like. So we'll just sit 2 rows, going like this, facing each other. We can make a little bit of space. Tracy and Simon, you can scoot further that way. Two, three. One of you need to switch sides. Okay, Michael did it. Okay, good. Now, we're going to listen to each other pulse. First, you all are the clients and you all are the doctors. I'm not supposed to say that word, but when you listen to man pulse, usually you listen to his right arm. When you listen to woman pulse, usually you listen to her left arm. It doesn't matter too much though. Okay? Now, really important, okay, Lou's listening to. I didn't step on it, I touched it. Okay? Look, this is important. He needs to hold her pulse like this. Wrap around like that. This hand, so they can turn slightly. Like Nina can turn herself a little this way, then scoot toward Lou. That makes it easier. Not that much, you don't need to turn. Yeah, you all can. Some of you need to turn your fingertips more into a curl.
I got it.
Nice. That looks nice. You have nails, that makes it difficult. Use your index finger. You're using wrong arm. There you go. Turn yourself this way. Scoot a little closer. Then you can hold under her elbow easily. Now you can use that. Now you need to use your thumb as the baseboard, so pinch with your thumb. Subin, use a claw, dear. Yeah, watch me. See, I pinch like that, I make a C-clamp. Okay, does it swim like a swan? Does it jump like a frog? Or does it escape you like a little slithery snake? You can't find it. Okay, now all of the doctors are going to move to the right. And Tracy, you'll come around to where is Lou?
Yeah. Oh, she's down the street tonight. That one.
Okay, I should have done this last time, but switch roles. Stay where you are, but just switch roles.
Man on the right.
Listen to the man's right arm. Sarah, use your other hand. This supports his elbow. This hand does listening. You too, Mason. That's funny looking deer. Mm-hmm. You listen to the Michael pulse?
Yep.
Very nice, Simon. Okay, now Tracy's whole row scoots one. And April comes all the way over here. This time, close your eyes. You don't even know who it is. You just kind of reach the... Huh? You don't know who it is. You're feeling, how does the blood move through this creature? It's important that your index finger is distal, Lou, so you need to switch hands. The index finger is the Vata finger, the Pitta finger is the middle finger, and the Kapha finger is the ring finger. Yes, Sarah.
So if I am checking their right hand, then I'm using my right finger.
No.
The other, it's the opposite.
Correct. Okay, switch roles. Use index, middle, ring finger, and pinch with your thumb. Make a C clamp. See me here? Make a C clamp. Okay, now everyone in April's row and Michael's row comes one to the right, but Michael comes here. It's okay if you didn't quite feel, but close your eyes if you're in. You don't know who it is. You don't know who arrived to you. Just some creature gave you an arm. Other one, April. You are being secret, doctor. They don't know who you are. Go all the way to the bottom, then come all the way to the top. Then change roles. Now start to expand your awareness. What qualities does this pulse have compared to the other ones you've listened to? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it sharp? Is it dull or slow? Is it light, or does it have a fullness to it? Okay, now move one spot. We'll go over. So you also can just, feel, what do these bones feel like? The arm that I was given, what did the skin feel like? But definitely, how does the blood move through this creature? No, you had it right before, Nina. Switch your hands, Jenny. Yeah, there you go. Your index finger should be listening at the proximal and the distal position. So index finger is close to their hand. Ring finger is close to their elbow. Okay, you can take a pause for a second. Now one more further refinement. Here is a further refinement for your next couple people, which is this. It is quite a cup of hand there. Now here is the pulse, that radial artery, and you're reaching around with your fingertips and listening. 1 finger, 2, 3, like that. Okay? Yeah? So this position is mostly the Vata position. This is most Pitta, and this is most Kapha. That makes sense because light molecules will travel the furthest, and heavy molecules will travel the slowest. In addition to that, I want you to listen for kinds of spikes. If you sense this must be, I know it's not Vata person, but Pitta Kapha, I don't know. Listen for how many Pitta spikes you get. If you get 1, 2, 3, then that is Pitta 3. If you also get 1, 2, 3 Kapha, then maybe you have dual doshic person. Pitta Kapha are equal in them. But if you only get 2 Kapha, which would tend to be these 2 positions, then Pitta is predominant, Kapha is secondary. You all follow me? I didn't talk about those little wiggles, but you'll feel them on Anna and Subin. And at the surface level, you might feel them on many of us. You might feel some little wiggles. Because right now, most of us are little Vata high. But go down to the bottom and see what you feel. Okay, now you do it. Switch, yeah, you did this person already, right? Do your best to arrive as a secret. Scoot close to your person. Don't be far away. You want them to relax their arm. All right, keep up the good work. Then switch roles. Yeah, you might get a sense at all 3 fingers I feel something, or only at 2 fingers do I feel something. There you go, Cami, that's better. Okay, we have one last person to work with, right? So switch one more. Okay, last person. Come, Anna. You're just doing index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and you're saying, what do I feel at these 3? How is it different? Then change roles. Okay, then you can come back to your normal position so we can finish up this class. That page in the book. Yeah, I need to show, but so like every class this week, this is just a taste. You taste the thing. Get a taste. This is a taste of Ayurveda, baseline constitution, what kind of creature am I? You got a taste of how to look at different creatures. Please look with loving eyes. That's easy for Kappa person. That's why he hugs each of you when you show up here. Pitta person always looks with critical eyes. And Vata person sometimes look with nervous eyes. Not able to hold eye contact. So, so we listen to the pulse, and you were not very adept at it at first because you're just learning, unless you have done it this class many times. But people should leave here with a sense of what kind of creature they are, because that influences diet and lifestyle, right? So like a nice slow, right? That shows Kapha predominant pulse. Kapha people, Nina show you the page, the real basic prakrti, vikriti. Prakrti is baseline constitution. I showed for land animal, one of those skinny monkeys for vata, and hummingbird for bird. Land animal pitta, I put a panther, and for bird I put a hawk. For kapha creature, I put a bear and a penguin. Okay, so these are very different creatures. They need a different diet and different lifestyle. Horse is also nice kapha animal, you know, to use. Some people don't want to be called a bear, so I get that. It turns out that we need to learn to love each of our students as unique and beautiful and celebrate it. Different kinds of. We should enjoy each of the different body types. Unfortunately, our world, it's changing now, but for most of America has always celebrated. They are the TV anchors, the movie stars, the everyone in general. You will see some vata and some kapha people, but not nearly as much. So that sharp quality is celebrated in America, and it carries over if we're always seeing that on magazine and whatever. Then horrible thing happened for a long time. Form and all of that. It meant kapha body types were like, where am I out here in making sense? But now at least it is changing somewhat. And all creatures are teaching. Is needing to be trained, then we need to train them. Diet, they're astringent, spicy hot, green vegetables, and things that. Am I making sense? That's it doesn't need to go isn't the best choice for them. Because sometimes they just make something and just let their joints sag. You follow me? So we like to do that vigorous things. We like, you know, but we don't mind they do something more vigorous than that, you know, kickboxing or whatever. Zumba, right? They're generally, they will exercise if they have a buddy to go with and have something like that. But exercise and punches that are astringent diet, those will always be the keys. Like that. You know, breakfast not so much needed. Lunch they can have. Supper should be, you know, salad or clear broth soup, generally speaking. Pitta person, when you encounter them, they will tend to always get inflammatory disorders and get headaches and all kinds of stuff. They will always need to eat foods that are sweet, bitter, astringent, and avoid sour, salty, pungent in excess, because that will just inflame them. They need to be less competitive, less driven, and go toward joy experiences like making music or doing art. You know, I really like I like ceramics for them because it's cool and wet. You know, things like that. Or going to the river. You all have a creek here. During summer, all Pitta people should put head in creek. Psh! They feel so much better. If you don't have it, just go put your head under the laundry sink. I do it all the time. I'll do it after class. And their diet, they need to make sure they eat lunch or they'll be hangry. And Vata person, that person is needing to eat sweet, sour, and salty foods. They need to build up. Stop being salad-tarian. Stop being raw food person. No, if anyone's going to eat meat, it should be them. You know, they need it, and they need it to be juicy and wet, not beef jerky or something like that. But they love it. They love cracker, chip, popcorn, jerky, dry nut, everything they... So, you understand? So with Lou, we know that diet, it needs to be... By the way, Lou also has a lot of pitta, right? It was warm when you felt him, right? Not cool. But in general, he should have some nice exercise to him. Gentle exercise is fine, walking even. And his diet should be cleaner in nature. Bitter and astringent foods should be there. What about Anna? Anyone listen to her pulse? What did it feel like? Felt like it was moving. You tried to touch it and it went away from you. Yeah. What do you think, Cami? Like a snake. It's escaped you. Especially compared to Lou's, right? Okay, so we want to buck her up and we want her to stay put. Stability. Don't go jumping apartment to apartment to apartment to apartment to boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend. Oh, girlfriend. Boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, like that. Stability only. Like, stay, have some stability. What about Subin? You listen to her pulse? It was different than Anna's though, right? But how was it different? Yeah. It was a little more driven, right? Anna's pulse escaped you, but Subin's pulse was, right? So Pitta features are there, right? So we have to be mindful of the Pitta dosha for her. We like her to relax, soft focus, not so much like intensity. You can come in, Amber. We're talking. What about Mary? You all listen to Mary's pulse? What did it feel like? Mostly sharp? She had Pitta features. But it wasn't the same as Subin's, right? Who else listened besides Cami? And how come Cami, this is her first class, is the only one talking? Rest of you are like, done with me? Who listened to Mary's pulse?
I did. I felt it mostly.
Interesting. Didn't feel broad. It felt Pitta predominant. I think she is Pitta predominant lady. Okay? So she needs to be mindful of the Pitta dosha. But Mary has some interesting things. She has some creative Vata feature to her mind, but she has some Kapha features to some of her too. So all three doshas are somewhat represented in Mary. What about Amber? Anyone listen to her pulse? What can we guess? Pitta pulse, correct. What about Tracy? You listen to Tracy's pulse?
Yeah.
Describe it. Full. What other?
I think it was still kind of like,
Yeah, there was a brightness.
there was
about
a,
it.
yeah, there was a good.
Yeah, she has Pitta and Kapha, right? Tracy is pro-athlete body type. She is. Tracy is a pro-athlete body type. If she had done training from early age, she could have been a professional athlete for sure. Pitta Kapha dual doshic body type. They are the warriors. They can do a lot. She does do a lot. What about Sarah? You listen to her pulse? You all forgot her?
He felt Pitta to me, and then at the top it had this really strong, funny wave.
Yeah, she has two.
Just
Yeah.
Oh, what it felt like. Yeah, she had the wave comes in and then other wave comes. Boom, boom. Because baby is in there. Boom, boom. That's why you can just go. Doctor will tell you if you're pregnant. You don't need to pee on that stick. But you can pee on the stick too. Yeah, because two pulses will be there. Normal current that represents what I would intuit this person pulse should feel like, and then something else will be there completely. No, pretty. Even as soon as they start, sperm and ova start doing their dance and whatnot, already some new process is happening in the organism. Of course, after a couple of weeks, it is more easy to tell. Yeah, not me, but my teacher is quite adept. He wrote a book on pulse reading. They even ripped the cover off of it and use it in India because there's not copyright laws there. But he was born into that family. He's been doing this since he was little. So teach you the alphabet, really. Yes, Sarah? Yeah, we do pinky pulse. You hold here. Someone else has to do it, though, because you will be distorted. So someone just totally neutral. Nice pitta person. Pitta person, generally, they are quite sharp. Even Amber, who just showed up, this saggy under part of the pinky finger on that most proximal phalange. That's it. If it is right side, it is boy. If it's left side, it's girl. But don't tell her, she doesn't want to know. What about Cami? You all listen to Cami's pulse? Our friend Cami, who just joined us for Ayurveda. What did it feel like?
I could feel it much clearer on her left arm than her right arm.
Uh-huh.
And it was more like beach waves.
Ah.
Really stayed really rhythmic.
Yeah. That's why Cami makes a great friend, So Cami makes a nice friend. She'll be there. She's dependable, generous, loving, like that. What about Macy? You all listen to Macy's pulse? What did it feel like?
Very last thing you did, right?
No, anything.
Oh, anything. Okay, so because what I practiced more was the deep and then the surface.
I think her deep pulse was definitely jumping like a frog.
Yeah.
just the first two fingers.
Macy is interesting too because she had the big, lovely kappa eyes, but she has some slenderness to her too. Vata features are there. I don't know exactly what is her secondary dosha. It's a bit of a mystery to me. I would have to listen to her pulse more. Mary.
For me, she's the hardest one for me to feel. So she felt like a lighter pulse. And I felt second fingers, nothing on the tip.
Deeper, I felt the third on a deeper pulse, and then when I came up, it was very hoppy under my middle finger.
Very good. Our friend Jenny, what did her pulse feel like? Strong.
Not super fast, but
Not super fast, but fast. But do you drink coffee, Jenny, or what? Yeah. she's like, hell yeah, I drink coffee. Where's my coffee right now? Are you going to go get it for me? Who else listened to Jenny's pulse? That's Mary.
Felt most like mine.
Uh-huh.
Really strong and regular.
That's true. Can you go stand next to her? Both you ladies stand up. Look at them.
Oh.
You see?
yeah.
They are quite similar creatures. Okay? Yeah, they have Vata feature to the head, though there is some difference, you know. Mary has the broad jaw. Jenny has Kapha nose. They have, you know, mixture of the doshas are there, but both are Pitta predominant. Most likely Kapha secondary, but, you know, all three doshas are there for sure, easy to see. What about our friend Simon? Really strong. Slower.
Swan.
I couldn't really feel a difference between the deep versus the surface. Both
Mostly healthy person. Steady. Yes, Sarah?
The deep is matching the surface. Does that mean they're most likely in balance?
Most.
So they're healthy.
There it is, means healthier. If you come through the layers, remember our metaphor is the river. When you go into the deep part of the river, that's the old story. How did that river cut through that canyon? But up at the surface, that's whatever weather it is today. Wind can be blowing chops on the river. You know, sun can be beating down on the river. Extra rain can be rushing into the river. You see, that's the same way it is in your life. That's the same way trees. Deep part of the tree ring, original story. Out at the surface, that's what's happened the last year. So Simon is nice, steady pulse. That makes Simon a great person for you all to be around, especially if you're feeling jittery. It's been a blessing to have him in the school. So grateful he came back. Simon just came. He saw school trying to get started on old, beat up, nasty alleyway off bike trail. I was out there trying to fix it up, remove broken glass, dumpsters. You know, building looked all graffiti. And he and his partner said, "Would you like to help?" I said, "Sure." They didn't glass. And they made some nice wood artwork for the wall. And he didn't. He just came back like 3 years later. Because his life is pretty okay, you know. But he's ready now for transformation quality, you know. Because Kapha person, steady, whatever, but they can easily get stuck in kind of pool. Stagnation can happen. Then some high Pitta creature has these ideas, spiritual life, whatever, high-minded, opinionated person, and he's like, no, maybe. I think about it for a while. I'll get back to you about that. What about April? You listen to April's pulse?
Study.
I bet it was quite sharp. She's my sister-in-law, but I bet it was quite sharp, right?
like overly bounding.
Not bounding. It was in Kapha pulse. No, it was full boom, boom. It was like, beep, beep. Is that right? Did I make okay? It changed. That's probably true too. She just had to host her in-laws. Lots of them. What about our friend Tracy here? Quite fast. Tracy been through a lot. She was vulnerable enough and willing to show you all. She had recent cancer treatments and surgery. Fast pulse, body's trying to like, where am I? Recovery mode still.
I thought the deep one was like there was like swan-like quality.
Yeah, that's what we said. Yeah.
Oh.
Keep talking, Subin. What else?
Yeah. But then it was weird because as you come off just a little bit, you can feel the snake at the same time.
Yeah, so we would like for our friend Tracy to recognize that Kapha reducing diet is important. So Kapha reducing diet is important. But Vata pacifying lifestyle is important. That is tricky. It means she needs to make sure she has regular schedule, enough rest, enough love and support in her life. Vata pacifying lifestyle. Regular schedule, super important. You know, sense of like warmth and support, super important. And yet diet needs to be kapha reducing. Limit carbs, no oil really, no fried foods at all. You know, she needs to eat greens. She needs something to keep coming and cleaning up her body. Am I making sense? What about Nina? You listen to Nina's pulse? How did it feel?
Fast. Yeah, it was a lot frothier than I expected.
Ah. Even when I first felt Nina's pulse, I was like, she looked like kapha predominant lady, but the blood feels like pitta blood. Huh? But fast because she is also recovering right now. And she traveled a lot. Plus she has difficult job of having to assist me. No, it's not that bad. But all of us traveled a lot to get here. You know, it was difficult. What other things you felt in Nina's pulse when you pinched it down and you stepped on the garden hose, then you just barely came up?
I felt it a lot.
Pro athlete is actually a little bit higher in Nina than Pitta is. Whereas in Tracy, I think pretty. Michael has interesting features. He has some narrow set eyes like Vata. He has those long tapering fingers like Vata, you see? So he has some unusual features. Oh, can you sit up? Let me see what pulse feels like. As you all are just listening, you only had 3 men, and I don't, 3 were on the same side, were they? But he is mostly Pitta dosha. That is mostly sharp, pointy pulse. It isn't bounding. Hmm? Mm-hmm. Okay. But kapha is secondary in him. All right. We should have Pitta reducing that lifestyle, but kapha could go a little high in him, so he should definitely have exercise that he loves. Because if he didn't, do some of your relatives gain weight? Yeah. Okay. Kapha is secondary. He can easily gain weight if he doesn't move. We went over because last class also went over, but this next class we were going to start right away, so don't go anywhere yet. I know some of you have to pee, don't be concerned.